Hello, hello, ye old citizens of the Instagrams. So today I'm going to be talking about bread making, which I myself am fairly new to, but when I was growing up, my mom, every week she had to use some of her potato sour bread starter or it would go bad. So every single week she would make 3 loaves of this just delicious sweet potato bread. It was sweet regular potatoes, and it was amazing. So when I started with all this gardening and composting and just like being generally like just domestic creation, really, I wanted to make bread. That's one of the things. So it's been a few weeks now, and I've experienced some roadblocks and some huge surprises along the way. So I'm hoping that my experience, I'm going to talk a little bit about it, will help others as you travel along the journey of your own bread dough making, bread yeast making, to prevent mistakes, do things better. So the first thing I did incorrectly, when I posted the recipe, it was only flour and water. I can't really speak to whether it does work or not because I didn't realize I had to take the top off. Because I knew that it was an anaerobic process, and it is, but the gases have to escape. So when I saw that my bread wasn't rising, I talked to my mom and sent her pictures, and she was like, "Oh, that's your problem." Like, that sounds like it might be. So I put towels over top of the top. You don't want to close your tops. You want to let the gases escape. And that's not because it needs oxygen for the process. It's because by the alchemical transformation, it needs its gases to be able to escape, to continue to grow and transform. So we're going to do our very first feed of some of these guys here. So I was getting alcohol as a byproduct on the top of my bread, and I threw that out. I got my mom's old recipe, which she got from, I'm not going to say how long ago, but it was in a newspaper. She got the recipe, and this is the exact recipe, is actually the newspaper article. It goes, it uses potatoes to make the bread. And I followed it to the T, and that was last week. And I used it to make this bread starter right here, which is now Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. We've let it set. It said that it recommended setting for at least 3 days, so it's actually been, today is the 4th day. The other two, I didn't want to waste my 2 weeks of the flour and water starter, even though I hadn't had them uncovered. I wanted to give them a chance to grow and fermentate. So this is some of that starter mixed with about 1 round of my mom's starter, the newspaper starter. This is a triple order of that starter mixed with some more of my old starter. So what I'm going to do is for this, I calculated out how much, since I had some leftover potatoes from the starter, boiled potatoes, I calculated out how much I need instead of potato flakes to feed it, since they're hydrated. Baked potatoes are hydrated and the flakes aren't. So it's going to be about 3 tablespoons of this instead, 6 tablespoons of this instead of 3 tablespoons of the instant mashed potatoes. And then a little bit less warm water. It'll be about 5/8 of a cup of the warm water, along with the 6 tablespoons of this. And then 3/4 of a cup of sugar into each serving of this for our very first feed, which they are ready for. Now, another thing, this was probably the worst, most surprising thing that happened when I was starting the bread starter. So, going to a T by my mom's recipe in the newspaper, it looks like it's fermenting. There are bubbles all throughout it. This is a couple days ago. I take the towel off of this starter right here that goes by her recipe, and it is just the most disgusting gray color that I've seen. Didn't take a picture because I didn't want to have to look at it again or have anyone else have to look at it. I just threw it away, the top layer. When I Googled it and looked into it, they're like, oh, it's a perfectly natural byproduct. You can just stir it back into your bread. And I'm like, no, screw that. That goes in the trash. I didn't even put it in my compost. It was just, but apparently it is a byproduct of the chemical process, and it indicates that your starter needs to be fed. And I did at that point feed it. So a couple of days ago, I did feed, as it says on the newspaper article in my mom's recipe, that if needed, you can add a tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of warm water, and a little bit of flour, I think. Anyway, I'm ready to feed some bread. Let's do it. So here is our so finely smooth. I processed the crap out of these guys. Mashed potatoes instead of the potato flakes, just for this time around, to get rid of the rest of the boiled potatoes that I had. Let me raise this up a little bit so you can see me better. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. I still can see the top of me. And we're coming at an angle. Maybe. Yeah, I think that should work. Okay. So we're going to do 6 tablespoons. And then once we're done with this, we have to take a cup of everything out. That's the waste. And I'm going to mix some baked goods and probably post those recipes and final pictures up for you guys too, as an Instagram post. Two. 3, 4. So you would be buying a box of instant potatoes to feed yours, and just doing 3 tablespoons of that, along with what it says in the article, which I believe is a cup of warm water, and then the 3/4 cup of sugar. So we did the 6 tablespoons of mine. Since this is hydrated, I just calculated something else out. But I wanted to make a video for you guys. So something in here is going to work out eventually. So we'll figure it out together. Potatoes here. This is a triple serving, so let me see. We're doing 6 times 3 is 18. That's actually going to be a cup and 2 tablespoons. So we do this a little faster, because there are 16 tablespoons in a cup, and we need 18 tablespoons of this in our triple serving. Oh, and also another thing that my mom said, you don't want to ever touch your bread starter with any kind of metal. And plastic is not the greatest either, since it does absorb things. So really you want to stick with glass containers. So you see that I've just moved my starter to glass containers here, all except for this one, just because there's so much of it. And I'm still trying to figure out the best way, but this is BPA free, plastic at least. If you use plastic, it has to be BPA free. And it's very thick plastic, so I'm not too uncomfortable using it for right now. But for stirring it, you want to use wooden utensils, for sure. Wooden or glass. Okay. Because you don't want your utensils to take a place in your alchemical transformation going on. You want them to stay out of it and just stir your starters. There we go. Tablespoons here. Okay, and then I calculated all this out several different ways, and then this came out to the best amounts for me. Just ignore the amounts that I'm putting in, stick to the recipe that I'm going to post for this video if you can. We're doing 2 cups of warm water. Just over half a cup, that's right. Just over half a cup of warm water for each. So like 5/8 of a cup. Let's see. A little flour. Okay, so 5/8 times 3, 15. This would be just shy of 2 cups. And water with this guy. Alright, now the fun part, sugar. 3/4 of a cup of sugar. These starters love sugar. All the organisms in there, nom 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 on the sugar. They're all about it. We're doing 1/4 and a half, which is 3/4. Two and a 1/4 cup of sugar for this guy. You still see me? Okay. Oh no, we are out of sugar. So what I'm going to do is put some honey in. And this will be, because I wanted to make one of these a honey bread, a honey potato bread. Honey potato sour bread. So, right back. These guys stirring. So these two here have everything they need. They should be stirred. And then we need to take a cup of the starter out of each of these as well, and 3 cups of this. Okay, so instead of the very last bit of sugar, so about half a cup in this triple serving pitcher here, I just ran out of sugar, which I wasn't expecting. So I gotta get some more sugar, but we are using honey, and this is from Riverview Apiaries. Their honey, oh my gosh, It smells amazing. We're going to pop this in our bread. I am really curious to see how this honey turns out. Honey bread. Well, this thing is full. It really needs those 3 cups of roots. So we're going to take out a cup out of each of these first 2, and then 3 cups, reserve 3 cups out of this one. And then I talked in depth with my mom about what she used to do for her once a week triple loaf bread baking. Sometimes she'd make cinnamon rolls or other recipes too. And there are a ton of recipes, and I'm just going to collect a whole bunch of them probably for what to do with your waste, specifically your for one serving of bread starter, a recipe for your waste for that starter, if that makes sense. So what she did, she would leave her starter out of the refrigerator for about 3 days to get it growing and a little bit colonized, and then feed it, and then take her cup out and bake with it, and then put it back in the refrigerator for about 3 days, and then take it out again and repeat the process. She said you could also extend it out to 4 days for one of those triple cycles and make it into a week, so then you could pick out a day of the week to do each thing. So say like on Tuesday I take it out of the refrigerator, on Friday I feed it, I take a cup out, I make some stuff with it, or I freeze it, or I give it away as a present to a friend to have to start their own starter, or whatever you want to do with it. Really, you can throw it away, but it's fun to do things and not waste. It's fun to make little recipes and treats for yourself. So like cinnamon rolls, dinner rolls. I found all sorts of recipes already that just look delicious and enticing, and I can't wait to share with you all. And yeah, these guys look good, so I will be baking with them today, which I'm very excited about. This is my first time baking with my own bread starter, and when I was talking to my mom too, just asking like, what was this gray stuff on the top of my bread starter, and she was grossed out by it too. I didn't even show her a picture. She said that she hadn't actually started her own bread starter. She was gifted it by a friend, and this was like decades ago. But that used to be the trend, and I think we should make it a trend again, because it is such a neat gift. I love gifts that just keep giving and don't really ever get old or die out, because you can just keep using it and using it and using it, and it keeps multiplying. Anyway, I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I hope this helps someone in their quest for the best loaf of bread you've ever had, the best cinnamon rolls, the best recipes. So, oh, and everything's vegan.